Greetings, people. What is up? We're live on the last day, 2025. How y'all doing? Can't believe I'm actually doing this. I wasn't really going to do this initially, but I figured we would try this. Because what the hell? I figured we'd try this. I mean, we Christmas is a little bit more of a family-friendly oriented holiday, and I had commitments, so I'm sure we'll all forgive each other for not being able. I didn't figure I'd get many views anyway, unless, well, at least live. Could have recorded it, I suppose, but I didn't. We didn't, so we're doing it this way today. And check us out! We did a little bit more of a juicing kind of thing. He had got this set up, and now there's a camera view up there. Where is it? Is it up there? Yeah, it's up there. See that? Check that out. This is, hi. Yeah. We're not going to keep this like this. Oi, welcome. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, brother. You're gonna get it after we are, because you're a little bit later. Most of the rest of anybody who's viewing it is probably already on it. So, because, well, I mean, not U.S. wise, but so glad to see you stopping in. though. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right. We'll see if we can vector into that. I'm trying to get in. I wanted to get this in. I'm probably gonna cut it. Make sure the razor's off. Yeah, it is. Probably going to cut it a little bit short just because it is New Year's Eve. So I don't want to I've got things to do. There's actually uh, a friend or two possibly stopping by. Oops, drop that. Need that. All right, cool. So and I won't keep this view like this by view because I want to make sure that the hell. Why is it so far back? Not that it really matters, but that's cool. I've been trying to adjust this thing, getting ready for this crap. So, like the view here. I'll monitor it on Discord then. But good to see you. Glad to see you. The IVPAC calendars have come in. I'll be getting out to anybody who might want one of those. Something else that came in too. Check this out. You can't see that. It's the IVPAC pen as well. Look, I just got a few of them just because they actually was one hell of a deal. So I figured, why not? Why not? Boy, it actually writes really good. I'm surprised, but yeah, had to get them as well. Probably gonna make a couple more of those just because it can make a couple more of those. It's pretty hot. Calendar looks pretty good. Anybody that may want one, let me know. See if we can rig something up to get you one. Um, yeah, it's gonna something to get it out in case we want to get it out to you. But like right now, the initial batch is of 5. I don't know, but it's always easy to make more, and actually can make it so that it's a little bit better. Why does it have 2 though? I don't understand that. It shouldn't do that. Let me check my filters. There's no filters for that. Okay, so I probably don't sound as rich or as good on this because I'm on the headset and I haven't doctored this thing at all. I had doctored it before, but the Razor's doctored, the boom mic's doctored. I was just experimenting with this, so I wanted to stick with that. And obviously, the camera view, not that. Why can't I has the background? I need the background. The background. Okay. I'm going to experiment with something on the fly. Oh, I can't do that. Can't do that. Never mind. Not going to experiment with anything. It's going to have to be the way it is because that's the way it is. Fine. Whatever. I was dealing with trying to set this up in such a way that in most cases there's more than one plane in the backgrounds that you flip through, so you kind of see the fact that we actually do that. And with this camera being in the way, it doesn't really happen. So Dur. But no, how y'all doing? Merry Christmas to all y'all. Hope y'all's that practice it and celebrate it. Hope y'all had a very happy holiday. Hope this will be a good New Year's Eve. Y'all probably won't be able to stop by. OAE, I'm surprised you are, but it's a little bit earlier for you, so you got a little bit longer ways to go than even we do for anything. So, like I said, I'm just getting it live and getting it knocked out so I can be ready for anything that happens later on because I do have a plan, but It's still early for us. I said most of the rest of y'all probably don't care because you're either asleep or still partying. And I just kind of want to be part of like a little bit of a live stream for New Year's Eve because we don't usually do it. It's very rare that our holidays happen to land on the holidays, our recording show days. So I don't even expect many people have actually gotten maybe too many videos out. I didn't actually even get a chance to check on the channel. So I'm hoping y'all did. I'm hoping if you didn't, you have a very good reason. Friends, family, loved ones that you want to be around. That's totally respectable. But again, OAE, hey man, happy holidays to you. I'm glad you stopped in. It's nice to see you again. It's making progress. And like I said, this is a little bit less of a holiday than Christmas, so that was touchier. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to be, not worry about it for people there. But this one, not done this before, so I figure let's get it out there for people. I didn't bring my drink over here. I'm a stolt, but I'll give it a shot. Yes, we're doing good. May possibly get a chance to go and blow something up later on, like we like to do on New Year's Eve. That's usually a thing that we do. Maybe, just maybe we'll take you along, but it is only 9 degrees outside, so I don't know. Mother Nature always seems to like to make it really, really bloody cold. Not cold on Christmas when I really have no intention of going out and there's really nothing big about it, but then making it stupid, duper, duper cold on freaking New Year's Eve when there is a tradition about going out and either launching or blowing up aircraft. Bigger tradition than it wasn't in Wisconsin when it was down south and like it didn't really matter, but I want to get this out there too because I didn't want to wait too much longer because I wanted the continuation and final. And why does it glitch like that so much? Y'all picking that up? That's freaking horrible. That's the camera somehow, people. I know you're seeing that, and I don't understand why that's happening. But if any of y'all know, let me know. That shouldn't be doing that. I think all the connectors are hooked up, but the camera's barely got hours on it, and it's pretty damn new. So I don't know why it's choosing to do that. I've flipped connectors on it, like it's been on different USB ports, and it's been on different computers, and it's always done it. So I don't know. Probably the camera itself. Not really cool. I don't even think I can upgrade the firmware on it. But won't notice. I'm not going to keep this for the full view unless y'all like this. I mean, there's really no point. Why would I be a disembodied voice down here when you could see the important stuff? So I'm going to transition this into the fold view because why the hell not? Oh my God. Why is it so big? Hold on, bear with me. You're still with me and everything, and it is, but it is what it is, and what it is like not cooperating as much as I'd like it to. Damn. Damn, that's really weird. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, just like it just happened to be the way it is, so.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Forgive me. All right, so yeah, here we go. We're going into fold view so you can get the final piece of the puzzle, Javelin. We're going to build a Javelin for you. This was the culmination of how I came with HIJAC, Haze, Condor. Same bird, but I like to get it in there. Sweet, sweet. You said you were going to do it, so I figured you were going to do it. This is one you were working on currently too? That's cool. I'll pop in and take a look. So anyway, I will keep it up in the background. So let's see. Javelin, if you stayed along for the other shows, and if you didn't, well, you can. So the other shows being the way they are, ooh, oh. Yeah, those do seem pretty basic compared to what you usually offer. I'll have to give you that. I mean, typically, wow. I I mean, every new design is a new design though. I mean, like seriously. I respect like anybody doing the build. You take the time, you want to do the build. It's like why the hell not, right? I mean, you could just as easily not do that. Oh my God. You'd think I would be better at this when I talk about. Okay. I'm going to save it properly so that when I save it properly, bear with me. We're looking at OAE's aircraft here. My God. All right. Oh, no. Small. Okay. All right, cool. OAE brought him up there. And it's like, again, it's like, it doesn't really matter so much about that. Is what we're doing is, hey, like we talked about before, if you're going back, like paper airplanes are like one of the things that you can just constantly develop. I mean, if we choose to go back to the biplane world, or World War One, quote unquote, with paper airplanes, we can. We're not suffering with like the real life world where it doesn't do to put a jet engine on a biplane. You know what I mean? So we can always go back to something old. And yeah, okay, Invader seems a little basic, but not so basic that I don't think you probably couldn't actually step up and do something like that. Okay, the performance is different, but I mean, you never know. Some of our hey, if you watch some of our tech talks, maybe some of our tech talks will get to you and get you to actually like change up, get a little bit of thing going on there, um, and maybe it's an idea you didn't think of. Maybe it's like I already see in the shots where it'd be like, man, I can do this, can't I? We'll show you what we're looking at here. Everybody wants to see. Well, we can show you. Um, he gave us a picture, and you're going to see it right away. Oh my God! Bear with us. They're actually bloody huge. Um, you take this with your phone or your camera, or just like the webcam? Because man, they start out massive. I got to scale them down so they're visible to the average Joe, Jane, and Juliet that's watching the show. Seriously, it's got to get to a more pliable edge. So like, he's talking about getting it up there on the chat. Y'all heard that, so we're gonna show you right away. See what that's like. We got to work on a background so that when the clips come up and they're not big, that's not totally black. I'll show you this real quick. This is the Superstar jet he was showing off. So this is hot off the press. It's really cool. He built it. He showed us. We're showing y'all. This is about as new as OAE stuff has gotten. Um, hey, speaking of which, Matt, we got to really get back to like you and I might actually make you like co-editor on the online magazine because you and I really update it the most. I mean, everybody gives me stories, but you really like dabble in it, and I dabble in it. So I would like to make get 2026 a little kickoff and do that the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, because I have barely touched it over the course of the year. I have, and I'm embarrassed by it because I read so many, like, military dregs about, like, what periodicals and such going on, with what's going on, that I'd like to post my own. And any little thing, like Powerhouse gets some stuff, I get some stuff, all the rest of the people get some stuff, I'd like to get it on there. That's because I know it's kind of a, like, declining medium, but I liked having that crap. So, but anyway. So Superstar Jet is something like he said, they're new for the year, but if you're following along, you see it. It's not where it really wants to, not where he really wants it to be. So it is. But and he's got another one too. Invader, he's talking about there. My God, and see, why does it do that? I don't understand that. Like I didn't even have to transition to that. It just flipped. But that's cool. There's Invader. I mean, like I already can see some things. Like if you stayed with us, like the dual fins from the rear wing. I mean, I can see that going on there. You can bihedral that. The winglets. I mean, because it looks like you're broad enough. Because I mean, the profile there, and you had said it too when I built one on there that looks like Vampire, right? So I mean, you could bihedral that. I'd have to see if you get that on Instructables. I'm assuming that you do, because if we could see it and take a look and see during the construction phase how much you could actually probably flip it around and stuff like that, because that could be something else that goes with Vampire. Oh man, that makes me really anxious to give you how to build on Vampire, because maybe they're the same. I'll view yours, you can view mine, see about the same, and then see if you can do some of these tweaks to it like I've got on Vampire. Yeah, pretty cool. I love the fact that you take that tail end almost all the time. Do you find that effective? I might have to go with that myself. I mean, quite a few of my designs have always liked the freedom of having their body wide, and I mean, I obviously see the merit, to taping any any poofed area flat. I've been picked on a little bit by it, but then again, like people have seen my planes fly and realize, like, okay, well, they work without it, and some of the times that I've done it, they've not necessarily worked with it. So I don't tape them down all the time, but it is effective. I'm not belittling. I mean, it works for people, so it will be a tech talk. As a matter of fact, just talking about tape and the many places you can put it, just like you can put um, different areas of like regular flight control surfaces, like ailerons, flaps, winglets, this, that, the other thing. So anything you could possibly think of. Spoilers, not so much. You really don't want to put spoilers on a paper airplane, but fun to see the aerodynamic demonstration of it. So yeah, I figure you should at least try it. Well, I mean, like this is why you moved on too. So, like, if they're unimpressive, and kind of what I'm illustrating with the three-parter series that I'm doing on these, this just shows the progression and shows why you moved on from the older ones. And again, but we as creators of these aircraft, constructors of these aircraft, we can choose whether or not we want to take the old ones and upgrade them, update them, or not. We don't have to, but we can, because I mean, they're ours, and like we can also take. Hey, this almost works. Can I actually fill the screen with this puppy? I can fill the screen with Invader. Look at that. You get a really good look at it, and like, boy, that's a good one for showing on the show too, because like you can't tell, you can't barely see anything as far as the folds. They're either underside or all buried in, so nobody can tell. Like, how did he build that? Yeah, I mean, still really really cool aircraft there. Like the way you did that. Um, like I said, and looking so much like theirs, and if I do that with Starjet, I can get most of Starjet in the shot. Okay, I know why it's doing it, but it's not entirely necessary. If I really want to get technical about how she gets in there, I can make it so I can get tip to tip in there for those of you that are trying to admire it. Starjet definitely looks a little bit more complex. Still can't see many folds except in the tip there, so I can see that. I can see that. Do you do you ever consider actually pointing the nose? Is it necessary to keep the center of gravity forward to be glidability? I also can see you actually got a little bit of quote unquote flap back there right near the tail, the upright fin, because it's folded up. So it to keep a nose up attitude. Um but I can see where you could like the wing, the constant chord there, the sweep on the leading edge. If you were to continue that down to the nose on the fold, you could take out the square, give it a little point, bury a paper clip in there to. I don't know how much. I'd have to see it built or build it myself, but I can see where like you can cut it. It would come to a point if you chose, and if there's a lot of weight that goes to that cut, the triangle on the top, you could always replace it with staple, maybe a paper clip. Um, I see that the wing tip, the very, very tip of the winglet that's folded down there, the anhedral as it were, is flat. That may be the result of a cut because it looks like the plane inherently could come out diamond shaped, like a delta, and you had to cut that to lay it flat, especially because you might have wanted it to lay flat, in which case you could cut the tip of the fin, or you could split the tip of the fin and give it a T-tail. I don't know. I just like I see a few quite. I can see a few things you can do with it already. That's all. I mean, man, I don't know how much of the fold is buried in there, but I wonder if it could have fluff. I don't know if I did a tech talk. We did a tech talk on fluff, but I don't know. Sorry, this is turning into a show about that, and I'm perfectly all right with that. But that's cool.
What?
I'm gonna take a gander real quick here. Um, Bear with me, y'all can come along. I'm gonna take a look and see if we actually did a tech talk on fluff, because now I'm curious. And yeah, I kind of actually hate being curious because it goes down a rabbit hole. And this is already turning into like some show that I wasn't actually going to necessarily turn into something big, but I'm glad OAE's here, so I'm definitely going to, like, take a look at me now. No, not that. Stupid. Don't do that. Don't watch. Yeah, I need to see the videos. Did we do one on fluff? Oh, you're in for a real treat then. Okay, so we haven't done one on fluff. We're going to have to do one on fluff for you. Not a problem. Not a problem. You'll like that. You'll like that. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I like the way you're going with those. And again, like, that could be you have a lot of potential with these pods on almost every aircraft because you have so much fuselage and winglet. Like, you already give them landing gear, so almost all of them lay flat. And you tape them together so they stay flat. And then with 1 inch, a full 1 inch, I mean, by personal experience, after having built like a couple of Vulcans and Warhawk and Owl, and man, there's been a couple I built, and they're like, all the years have like the super deep fuselage and super deep winglets, so they always come with landing gear, which is really cool. I mean, that way you don't have to waste something to keep them upright. And typically, well, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just thinking of expansion with something like that already. So, I mean, dude, the biggest one that's kind of obvious, the rest of the world you can see is like, okay, you got a UFR back there. You got upright fin from rudder, which we call the vertical tail fin. But you could always give that same tail fin to Invader. It'd be smaller, but you could do it. And I know what that means too, is that means like normally if you had the fin down, it would just come to a square rudder back end tail end. You could trim it, or you could actually increase the slant, because you see how the slant is. That's practically up and down with a little slight slant to the fold. Just going by the leading edge of the fin, that's where your rudder would stop. So I can like semi-imagine where it is, and you could always increase the slant. But then again, then you kind of get trippy with the North, and even with 1 inch of fuselage and finlet or winglet, I wonder how big of a deal you would actually have, how much of a situation you'd have with North. 1 inch, 3 inches square on the vertical plane might be enough to overcome having North, but I know with my planes, North is practically a no-go, so we end up putting a fuselage back on. So my Valkyrie never really worked. I don't know if anybody got a chance to do Valkyrie. I'm hoping y'all got a chance to do Valkyrie. So they don't touch the ground. Huh. Because, like I said, from my personal experience, you usually have 1 inch, sometimes a little over, of winglet and fuselage. So if there are 3/4 of an inch right there, I'm sorry we're not metricizing again for these people, but one of these days I'm going to have automatic pop-ups so they can translate the the freaking things, because we talk in American and sometimes it's bothersome, but all right. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, so I know that you would have good clearance there. Good to know. Good to see. Good to know. Yeah. So anyway, we fold on back into that. That was cool. That's a good step. I like seeing that. I like getting more pictures of your aircraft, actually. I like having them on hand for when you talk about them. I can just pop them on up there. Yeah, right. So, and like, because that's usually what you fold in there is the 1 inch. So, I mean, I'm ready. Are you ready? You saw that. I mean, yeah, there's like 1 inch, like, holds it off there. I know I'm blocking that, but I wanted to see what it would do. What would that do? Made it quite bright. Only brightens it on the dub side. I don't really need to do that. Oh, I see what it does, though, immediately. Like, oh, yeah, it's definitely more subdued. Oh, yeah, you see what it does. But I'm not going to do that for the show. I ain't going to turn it red. The blue works really good. So anyway, thanks for that little history. That's really cool. And I'm glad to see you actually working on, little something, because you had me a little bit worried when you were talking about how you didn't get a chance to do much building or whatever. It's been pretty quiet over there at OAE. Man, Matt, I'm still calling you that because I noticed actually you've taken the construction mat away from those shots. So what happens? Like your construction mat's always present. So, but like I said, it's better than going with the vowels. Anything would have worked if you hadn't picked all vowels. You had to pick all vowels. It's like you have a Latin name that nobody can pronounce. Ah, but anyway, Javelin. So y'all want to see how to build? Yeah, outclassed because the aircraft was. I mean, dude, what? 15 years old. Yeah. I mean, no big deal. That's really. That's really. Man, you not letting your homies get. Oh, man, I said homies. Your allies. This is military. You're not letting your allies get the current technology, are you? You like taking them a real step down. It's like you giving out exports like from 15 years ago. Well, okay, 10 years ago, because I'm assuming some people may not still be using them, but I don't know. I like see, and that's why I was curious also about what you had said about like how you feel about your exports, and then you say like you create it for an export, which I hadn't lived yet until I built the axe, and then you say it's retired, but that means you retired it, so obviously you didn't like reciprocate, and somebody's gonna have to tell you that they retired theirs. They could still be using that aircraft, so but if you built it for export, it's not really retired. It's just like a pattern that's discontinued. But that's a technicality. I mean, I understand the usage, and I would do the same thing. The verbiage would be like, "It's retired. I'm not using it. I never really was using it." It's like axe. I mean, I built it. It's current, but I'm not really even. Like I said, I built it for consumption. It's my true export aircraft. I don't really even know if I'm going to put it in our aircraft list. I suppose I should. I made it, but it's up to y'all to do whatever it is what you do with it. So I'm not even gonna. I said I'm not gonna. It's not gonna get a SIL code. It's not gonna. It's not gonna be numbered up on my end. It'll be up to y'all to number it up. So I'm just gonna write dates on them. I might put numbers on mine just because, but I don't know. The export thing is not new. It's just I didn't like before. It used to be like the way we kept track of exports was literally I would like, hey, how many are you building? Let me have them so I know. And I used to keep track. There are some numbers of certain aircraft that I have that it's like they're not mine. Pharaoh built them, or T-Gun built them, Jesus built them, or NASA's built them, or something. I mean, true export models they get different names. It's just like a license built aircraft. So whatever. Hey, in some ways, to me, it sounds like that kind of aircraft actually is probably the best for an attrition squadron, combat, true combat aircraft, right? I mean, like if it's that old and it's not up to true performance, like you don't want the same thing we always talk about. Like if you're going to build anything that you put heart, soul, effort, time into, and material into, you obviously probably wouldn't want to lose it during combat. Nor could you if you really were in combat and you had like if you brought out 20 planes and God forbid you lost like 12 of them, you're probably going to want to restock. This is what the cargo aircraft are for, to bring you stuff in the front line so you can build more. But you're not going to sit there for an hour, for 30 minutes, for 20 minutes building the one plane when you could build the 15-second plane. Not that I'm saying you could, but like I said, I'm not going to build you a phase 7. Perhaps that's a poor choice of words. But I'm not going to build you, how about this, a Phase 3E, for example, which I believe has add-on strakes to the basic, when I could build you just a basic Phase 3. And see, that's what you're mentioning, that's what we're talking about. Like, that's a combat, that's an attrition plane. I won't mind losing a Phase 3. I don't care. You can build it easily. And it's quick to build. The standard folds, cuts, you're done. It's ready to go to combat. All I need is tape and a scissors. And I may not, I can possibly get away without the scissors. Last time I tried doing it with rips, it didn't really work too well, but it can be done, and I have done it. But like this is a great plane for that. It's like yeah, it's not, but I mean like if it takes too much to build, it's one of the things you got to think of when you're in IVPAC. Like we can flaunt frontline squadrons with the bestest of our aircraft, but then we also think like, and we still consider it. That's why we keep the reserves. Is like, okay, the reserves are probably going to do most of the combat, or we're going to balance it because if it's really got all the tech, I'm not going to want to waste that plane during combat. I'm not taking that thing out. It took me forever to build it, you know. Indeed, indeed. Oh, he texted me. Okay, so that's cool. I'm gonna get this. I got. He's probably. Oh man, shouldn't have left that phone over there. Hold on a minute. Oh, and the dogs got me trapped too. Wait, I might be able to do this. This thing's got a long enough cord. I'm gonna go for a little bit of a. Whoops. I'm gonna go for a little bit of a ride. You're not gonna notice, but I'm gonna notice. I hope I can reach this. I gotta see because the friend I was talking about texted me, and I can get my drink too. Yeah, that's the cord dangling. I got my drink. Come on, Charlie Bear. Hey, Charlie. Nothing like having the tea. I mean, if he can't, he can't. But I'm thinking he's going to be able to, so we'll be able to do something tonight. Yeah. So there's that. Get y'all's orders for the calendars in, stuff like that. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So what we got here is Javelin. Um, why not? All right. So this was the end result of how the aircraft came along. This is how we did what we did. So I remember the sheet I was talking about. It looks like notebook paper. It's fake. This is one of those ad kind of things. Why the hell is that out of? That should not be. It's really weird how it centers this, but whatever. Javelin here. This is an honest to God Javelin. So, you keep building like stuff like that too. If you build improved prototypes or prototypes that actually have the better tech with them, you're going to want to use those, or people are going to want to use those versus the other ones. Especially if you if you put them live or something like that. If you give the licensing out the ability to build aircraft, um, step of the ways you build tech or whatnot, uh, that's good. I mean, people like that, like to see that, like to have that. I'm assuming so. All right. So we saw it. Starts out with the standard A4 paper. We got like this here. Fuck. How does my thing do that and just slip? Why? Why? Okay, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get this going. He's on the East Coast, so it's even worse. So anyway, standard sheet of paper, A4, 8.5 by 11 for those of us in Dumbland. All right. So made the first fold. It's gonna look basic for a minute there. Made that first fold. Oh my God, it glitches so bad. Mark, I need that camera. Okay, and again, like if you go back through and you remember how these were built before, um, this is the natural progression of things. This is how we do, how we did, and so on and so forth. Javelin was, I don't know. I mean, it was by having the bodies in and actually building them all together one time that it took to realize that no matter what you did of the previous two shows, even with this one, you got to the same point, which is right about now, and realized that, oh my God, this thing is about 6.5 inches long. Every time it ended up the same kind of distance from here to here. That's ultimately what you were trying to do. So, and this one, like I showed you with the other ones before, was a little bit different. This one, this one's going to be more advanced because this one always was built with the newer technology. In the space of the 3 years it took to go from HIJAC to Javelin, and I developed the better techniques for making sure that the plane would stay symmetrical all through its steps. And again, must use your fingertips. 10 o'clock. Jesus. Oh, oh, look at that. Thing of beauty. Okay, and if you're following along when you're doing this, you'll notice it already. Even without that, this is getting thick. This is going to get really bad before long. This is the penultimate. This is Javelin. Javelin's always been like this. I like to call this the V5R. There's a reason why, but I may never tell you because it's mostly because it's unimportant. It's not really important to the design of the aircraft. You'll see the same kind of fold, same kind of distance. We're getting the same freaking delta diamond. And again, like if you take it and compare it to what we built last week, or the week before last, or the week before that, you run them up, and by tip to tip, this is a little bit different, but tip to tip, this one's just a hair longer, but only by a little bit. I said, that's what we make. That's how we get to where we get to. So, and yes, I still have them handy. I was ready for the show this time. This is the trickier part. When you get to this, and you're going to realize this too. So, now, this part here has to be out. So what you're going to have to do to get this to work is kind of unfold this way. Right? Have to unfold. Depending on how you want this to be. Keep in mind it's an interceptor. So it's like a baseball. Throw it as hard as you can to the distance. It doesn't really matter. You still want symmetry, but it's not so important to this aircraft. So you're unfolding it, so this will give. Because if you don't, it won't. So if I unfold it that way, and then tuck these back in. That dog at my feet? He sure is. That dog, stop it. Sorry. Hit my head on the boom mic. And he really doesn't want to cooperate at this point. It will, but it really doesn't want to cooperate at this point. You're going to have to, oh God. My God. You almost want to rip it. Let me see if I can do it this way here. Because it doesn't want to do that. Okay. Tuck it back.
Yeah.
If you can get one, the other won't. The other will come along pretty good. However you do it is how you're gonna do it. I mean, I don't mean like any way you get it. That's how it's gonna work. And again, like you may lose some symmetry in this, but that's okay. That's okay. One of the major reasons why, like your Delta Diamond probably won't match up because mine's not matching up. I can get it to probably form a little bit better. One of the main reasons why is the stress here where your fold's going to be. This area right here, this is where most of the stress forms up. And especially down here in the center. But again, you're talking about an interceptor, so it won't matter so much. Now you're almost done, but you're not done yet. Yep, little triangle there. Fold that up. Hold that back up there. All right. Now she's ready for the final steps. The last aircraft for the new year. And for many of y'all, if you're following along, the first aircraft of 2026. I won't build another one tonight, so. This one, unlike, Matt, your aircraft, I can't give it 1 inch because it will lose. I've done it, and ironically for HIJAC, and to a lesser extent Hayes, it works. But for Javelin, you need the wing or else it just really won't fly. It still goes straight, but it'll barrel roll even worse. And this isn't like the greatest interceptor because, as I've learned recently, which is one of the reasons why I retired it, she won't glide intercept. I mean, I don't want it to glide and then go off a distance, but like it can't take the hardest throw I can give it. It's one of the reasons why it barrel rolls. I can add all kinds of vertical surfaces to counteract the spiraling, and she still spirals. This will be tough because if you came along for the ride, this right here is stupid thick. This will be tough. But again, if you're building this to have an interceptor, you're not going to care. Like you can get some of this stuff back after you get the folds out. There's a lot of stress on this aircraft. And this paper, although it looks like notebook paper, is thicker, so it's worse than even standard copy paper. I don't know what bond it is. I know it's stronger. I'm kind of wondering if I should waste it on this plane because it's stupid thick, but it's a stronger bond, slightly, very much slightly, but slightly. It's not cardstock, but it's a stronger bond than even notebook paper, definitely notebook paper, but then even copy paper. So it has a texture. You could feel it. Yeah, I put canards on this. This aircraft actually went along with me for my science experiment in high school when I was comparing an aircraft that actually had. I used this aircraft as a demonstrator because I put canards on it. They've had onboard canards. I've had to add them on. And yeah, I compared it with, without, and then with just like the rudders doing all the work. Ironically, I picked this plane for a nose-up attitude because I knew we could go the distance. Because this aircraft won our classes. Like our class had that, that thing everybody has where like who can build the plane that flies the farthest. I used Condor for that, and Condor kicked everybody's ass. Didn't say it had to glide or go straight. He just said it had to go there. And this plane, yeah, it had it. So we used some tape. Because we do use tape on this plane to get it to come along. Like, this is actually not a necessary step. This only happens if you have problems with the poofiness, which you may or may not have. And again, it's an interceptor, plain and simple. So you probably won't even need to do this. But I think for making it look better, you should do this. And Javelin is great for testing technologies. A pretty good profile, obviously, but then again, all the rest of them have that Delta Diamond too. So, and there we go. Like she's gonna look a lot like the others there, but it's gonna be pretty straight back here where the nose is, and then the wings themselves razor thin. They're pretty sharp. So are the winglets. And yes, you do tape this. You could staple it, but I doubt you can get a staple in there. And the paper's already as heavy as it's going to be. So Mark sat along for a build with me on this one. He never knew how to build this after years with me because I never actually built it in front of him. And he's like, so how you built it? And like, we did this, not on the show, but we did it like a few years back. And he's like, that's how you, my God. He's like, damn. Yeah, so. And because it is a Javelin too, like I put 2 pieces of tape on there, you're going to need it. You can actually trim this. It doesn't have to have a pointed nose because this nose is solid. I don't know if you heard that. It's pretty solid. This thing will stick in something. It's the winglets are pretty deep. They're almost an inch deep. Definitely deeper than the fuselage is because the fuselage is a half inch. Little bit. This one in particular, though, I mean that I built and it doesn't matter so much, but up here, this is a little bit deeper here. Didn't really intend for that. It won't matter to this plane. This plane has one job, does one thing. You don't expect to glide. This aircraft just freaking goes straight, fast. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, it's had gear before. I've put landing gear on this in many ways. It's had attachable landing gear near the back to prop it. I mean, it holds itself pretty well anyway because the hedrals, the winglets, like yours, they're much deeper than the plane's fuselage, so it sits on them. If you can get the wings to actually stay straight down, it'll be flat. It's flat right now. So yeah, but you can do, like you said, yeah, you can do that because like that is apart. I usually leave it apart because it doesn't care. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's it. That is a Javelin. She ends up being just like the others, 7 3/4 inches long from, you can't see it, but I'll put it here on this one. From tip to tip, back here, you can't see that. Back here to here, 7 3/4 long, and
Gotta hit you, Kenny.
wide, 3.5 inches. Basically from there to there. You can't see that. Okay, God, sorry. But like there to there, with a little bit out. I mean, if you actually count it's literally 3 inches from the fold to the fold. So, yes, that is the natural progression of how Javelin works, how we got to Javelin, and how you use that. I can almost guarantee you it'll be your best interceptor, or at least on par with the best interceptor that you have if you build that aircraft. You're certainly not going to, I mean, like, you're probably not going to make anything better because it'll go as far as you can throw. That's what you need out of the interceptor. This will go as far as you can throw. So, okay. So, yes. Yeah, I know. And like I said, like, and you could do that. You could do that. But the more vertical you give it and the less horizontal you give it, it's a trade-off. Kind of works, but that would mostly be for something like that. That would mostly be for carriage because you're really not going to get much more of flight out of this. I mean, I still use it as pylon because it's great for, it's still strong and all through the body and it's direct, so it delivers cargo really good and can bomb really good. So for that, like carrying pods, oh yeah, I doubt it would even feel it. I mean, even this little thing, I know it wouldn't probably serve a purpose, but seriously, putting some kind of pod close to the body, it wouldn't make a difference to this aircraft. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna cut it short, people. I don't mean to do that, but like I said, it's New Year's Eve. I got a little bit of plans. I got a friend waiting now. Um, that's Javelin. Um, that's how the family started. If you stayed with us about a month ago, went us through this 3 week December journey on how I went from HIJAC to this in about a 3 year span. Um, Pretty good plane. Um, and this probably shows you like a good way of, like, that plane went all the way through it. This is probably how you guys would develop yours. Um, really good system, really good development. Makes for a lot of stuff. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. So basically, it would be like kind of like a straight down thing and then reinforced and then sit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This will be, I'll give it a how to build video, an official one. So, probably have little notes on it. I've, I apologies. Like, I keep tweaking the video. I've got it. I've got it. We're working it. It's been ready, but I'm working with fellas in the background to make sure it's kind of like my production team, and they don't like kind of how certain things I've done, but I've almost got it ready. I just need a better view. That's the only thing that's holding me back. So, and that'll be more official. But anywho, yeah, that's that one. I welcome some comments, compliments, insults, whatever the hell you want to throw out there. Give it a fly. Tell me how it does. I mean, I know how it's going to fly for you. And you know what? I can also tell exactly how good or bad or how well or whatever it is you consider how you guys throw, because this one will test it. It's for real. I mean, like, if you can throw it, and I mean hard. I mean don't freaking hold back. I mean hard. Throw it. However you throw a rock that you want to hit, like how far can you throw this? How far can you throw? This will go. It all depends on you. So, I thank you for showing up. I thank you, Matt. Always a pleasure. I'm glad you came by. Thank you, OAE. Uh, Happy New Year to you. Glad you came out. We will be here next week. We'll hopefully throw another video or two out there. I promise the how to builds are coming. I promise. Like I said, I am working it. I literally was working it last night. Probably work on it some more tomorrow. Basically now what I just need to do is film it looking a little better than it does. And after that, it should be good to go. Your first one will be Nova. Just because that's the one I was testing with. So, but again, happy 2026 to all of you who had it. Happy 2026 to those of you who are about to have it. And thank you for coming out. Hoping this next year is going to be strong for flights and builds. Keep at it. The hobby is strong. We'll be all right. We'll be around. Hopefully you guys will too. Once again, OE, thanks, man. Appreciate it, Matt. We'll see you in 26.